So thank you for having me. So can you quickly introduce yourself whilst we start with the discussion? Yeah, exactly. Can you introduce yourself?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm saying you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Oh, okay. Prince Abe, I'm with Peswa One. We are a business on the Ghana Stock Exchange, listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. We had a couple of programs with Hyperspace.
Yes, and because maybe
hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I was saying that I've had a couple of programs with Hyperspace, and I've wonderful opportunity always to be here. So I'm looking forward to a good session, and so that we can all learn together. Thank you.
All right. I think the next way you can maybe put off your video and then.
Okay. Is there sound or is also the video? Hello. Hello.
Consultant for there was an IFT program. So IFT basically is we try to use that. It's not it together. What are we doing? If it has to do with financial services and there's technology involved, and it's not even directly debiting and crediting, but has to do with educating of the public or educating of the users. We categorize that as fintech. So that was our small use there. But when you hear more is when you hear fintech, like, oh wait, they're moving money. So that's when you hear more. But generally, any startup or business that's out there just doing any action web as a business that involves financial services and technology, they would fall under the fintech sort of category. So, then it would be a bridge to add to that. Okay. He's brought out the technological aspects. I'll come in with the more simple approach, which in many respects, what Emmanuel has said. Basically, fintech is to be basic. It's about applying technologies in providing financial services. So in the provision, whether it has to do with transferring money from party A to party B, what's the technologies that have been employed, especially recently, to make things easy. Basically, they all fall under the definition of fintech, just as Ivan was saying. All right. Mr. Abe, I don't know if you want to add to the definition.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Please, the question again. I difficult to hear.
Yes. The scope of fintech. When you mention fintech, what does it entail? Which areas falls under fintech?
Some breaks in the line, so the audio is not very good. But I think I heard something about fintech.
Yes.
Okay, and how fintech. So if you go.
Okay. So, but there's some school of thought.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
You mentioned that there was a school of thought.
No, I was saying
I
that
could have.
the area where does fintech, what does it mean when you mention fintech? What falls under it? And Emmanuel mentioned that when you employ technology in as a business, in anything related to financial, whether education, whether security, authentication, and all of that, payment, lending, insurance, they all fall under fintech. I just wanted to have your take on that.
I think I agree. I agree that to allow encompasses all the various things that have been mentioned. Definitely, I will have to talk about the area that fintech has not been strong enough, which is actually the or what we call the economy. So that, apart from maybe mobile money, very well in entering that space. Largely, we haven't seen products for particularly that sector. So if there's anything I can add, as we go on in the discussion, I will push to think more of fintech in that sector because they make up 70% of our economy. So if we are doing the fintechs for the young, the enlightened middle class, we are still just looking at the economy. So as we go on, I agree largely, but I think we will open up the discussion towards fintech for that sector also.
Thank you very much. I think this, I would suggest maybe you can just off your video. I think there are still breakages in your transmission, and then maybe put in the video of yes. So yes, I think you can hear me now. Is it better?
It's slightly better. Let's continue. I'm sure it will settle.
Yes. Okay. But I before we came in, I was making a point that some school of thought has it meant. You know, as you mentioned, applying technology-based solutions in the financial sector. And then the others also looking at the company or the business that is running tech-based solutions in that. So for instance, you talk about banks, traditional banks. You can look call banks fintech and then as against something like wine. Yeah, so my take on that, I definitely would still look at the problem. Some of the screens we did, we're screening over thousands of applications with our 50 sort of program. We always said if the plan is there, it has a structure. They've got money. But if they're not using technology and it's just brick and mortar, we will not be all too quick to categorize it as a fintech because then if you look at it that way, then you would end up probably saying that the guy who collects you on a bike, you need to use as a fintech, but they are not. They have to use some element of technology. If there's no technology in there, it's a problem. Then you can't be fintech. Maybe you'll be fintech. Then there's no tech. It's king, but the tech part is not there. So if it moves to using something as simple as Gmail or Yahoo to do something with the customers with an agenda towards providing better financial services, they're getting that. They would,
So now we have digital, we have the online bank, the e-statement and all of that. Do they qualify as fintech? Or any banking institution applying fintech solutions or digital tools?
So this is the thing, right? If you're using the tools yourself in-house, maybe you're using some CRM software in-house to manage your customer's database, and the customer is not experiencing the technology. You're finteching yourself in-house, but the customer will not see you as a fintech. So then the business can employ all sorts of technologies in-house, the key cards, swiping on doors, and moving from there to there, policies, even on their databases in-house. But if it's not being sent to the customer, and the customer still has to take 3 hours before they get there, and they can use the technology, or there's nothing to really help them benefit from all that you've installed in your business, you're not a fintech. Penetration we have
Right. Mr. President, take on that.
If I get you right, you're looking at which businesses would be fit to be classified as fintech.
Yes.
Well, I see the fintechs, particularly as those businesses that provide the technologies to convert the brick and mortar financial services or financial service provision to the customer. So there is a brick and mortar, the GT bank, this and that, but the particular companies or institutions or upcoming ones who are innovating and bringing out different products to change the narrative and ease the operations of these banks, those who provide those technologies, I see them rather as a fintech. These are.
Okay. Mr. Abe, I don't know if you want to touch.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
It's a slight echo. So it's very bad for me. So unfortunately, I could not really pick out. So then, like, if you help me with it, I'll be grateful.
My question is, I was asking that we have the traditional banks, the GT and the GCB and all of that, employing digital tools. For example, they have their mobile app now, they have e-statements, they have all these things for their customers. And then we have companies like Wire Money, we have the Flutterwave and all of that. Are they all fintech? Do you classify the banks employing these digital tools to ease financial services? And are they as against companies like Flutterwave? Are they fall into the same category?
Okay, that's a good question. Something that we have also been, we know of the introduction of, for example, the Ghana under the banking system. And we looked at it as in to what the telecom companies mobile money and whether it is cannibalizing it and so on. I wouldn't say they are the same products. What you are seeing with the banks is they are building their services. So they have their core business, and they are basically just trying to extend it using technology. The pure fintechs, which mostly are startup businesses, a good idea, they think through it and then they start. They are from the start, they are basically technology companies. So there's a distinct difference between the two. And there is also some synergies, which I think that the traditional banks should be looking at, or the traditional organizations which are coming up with fintechs should be looking at, in trying to do isolated systems, because no bank will, for example, Zenith Bank will not allow EcoBank to use their system. So they are building silos, isolated systems, but the fintechs are building combined systems. So their system, probably both a Zenith Bank and an EcoBank can use it on the same platform. So the banks should not go too aggressively because they have the money or the resources. They are going very aggressively to build silos technology. In the end, I think that they will largely fail because what the consumer wants is the consumer wants to have choice. So if I have just an EcoBank app and I can only do EcoBank transactions on it, and if I have, let's say, a ZP or any other fintech product, and I can do EcoBank, I can do Zenith Bank, and I can do other transactions and other services on it, I am more likely to go towards the combined technology. The reason we are not seeing too much of a shift away and the banks and the big organizations are comfortable coming up with their own technology for now is because the fintechs, the startup fintechs have not developed to the extent where they are providing platforms that are far better than what the organization, but eventually I believe we'll get there. So in answering your question, basically, yes, they are all fintechs, but they are very different. One is based on an old model. It's not technology based. It's based on an old business model, and they are just extending their services with technology. And one is fully technology based. And I think in the end, the full technology based businesses will win. And the large organizations will have to more or less move on to those platforms. So the banks and organizations that will win in the future are those who go very early to those platforms rather than building their own silos.
All right, thank you very much. So it's now established that with these years, so they are applying the digital tools to more or less extend their services. So, but we have the pure fintech businesses or startups that are based on their employing technology, that technology based. I mean, the banks can run without the technology because they already have the systems and their traditional way of doing it. But they're employing, but this is based on technology. That's, yeah, so thank you very much. So then we need to come into our local setting. Some of the examples of fintechs that we know. I know most of them are into payments and all of them, but can we highlight some of them looking at the scope of the fintech that we talked about just now? You can start with that.
Okay, so I definitely would want to first of all emphasize that as of last year, 2021, we had total our resources on the websites, something this we got 20,000 fintechs. 20,000. When you come to Eastern Middle Africa, it's about 6,000. If you go to the Americans, South America, about doing almost about 4,000, right? And then of course we have more elsewhere, big transactions. So we have about more 4,000, 5,000 spread around the Asian Pacific and all of that stuff. But I'm not going to worry about it. It's a total list of them if you want to go to that. Their size, the ways of the technology they use, how much money they move, their policies and stuff. I want to come and give credit to some of the grants that have helped all of us get to know the person. But the first point is just to say that for almost every bank you go right now, automatically just add the whole idea of an app to your name and you have a project. Even if they don't deploy the app, because it's automatic. And I always like to present and pitch in the way that I always talk about the technology is only there to facilitate the business. It's not one of them. The banks will always be the banks, right? So then your DT bank app, Fintech, then you go on and on. So I don't really want to keep mentioning the brands. He's the one that showed up at GT Bank. So I'll be right there. Because I'm going to get to advertise, they didn't pay out the space for the news information. And then when you come to episode 1, money, then I can mention some of the partners always do very well. Baystar, Telenet, African Stocking, CPay, doing quite well. I could go on, it's a toilet, right? So we can go on and on and we mention that it's just a lot of that. Even in Ghana alone, plenty of that. We got the likes of Checker Cash, we have some of the co-founders coming from here. So it's a tall list. We really wanted to mention that. Unless we said, let's start mentioning their names based on certain criteria or criterion, then it'll be a bit easier and better to pinpoint and select them. But it's a lot of them. 20,000. By the time this year ends, we should have no less than 10,000 brands claiming they can do something around financial technologies. Yeah, that's a lot.
First, maybe in your area, what are some of the solutions that you developed? The online app, the mobile app, and all of the abilities and all of that.
Yes. For GT Bank, actually GT Bank PLC, based in Nigeria, we have actually set up a fintech company. We developed further into what we call GT Code. We let go to further in that. But that is to say how deeply attached we are to technology, to the whole fintech idea, which we believe will bring about a lot of solutions as we go on in providing financial services. And it's also quite cheaper than establishing brick and mortar offices to employ so many. It's all good. However, it's cheaper, it's more convenient, and all that. GT Bank here in Ghana, we need to buttress further our belief in the tech idea. We brought about 2 home applications. We have the GT1 app, which connects everyone to his bank account, and the one can use it to make whether printing statements, whether making transfers to other GT bank accounts or other banks, maybe to banks, to whichever other bank, and also making other payments. Then as well, GT Bank deployed another application called My GHD. My GHD, what we are looking at is the one that's not, users don't have to be GT Bank account holders. They can just go on there and utilize the service to make payments to different vendors who are hosted from that platform. That's what I want to emphasize on the technologies and the usefulness that Fintech has brought us. Now, for many people, they don't have to go and queue to make their ECG payments, their electricity, to buy electricity credits. People don't have to queue, they don't have to queue to buy their water, to make water payments. They don't have to queue to make their snakes payments for their staff. It's all available online. You go to your GT Bank, GT World Ghana, or you go to My GHD or other services that other fintech companies have provided. The solutions are there, which I see it as a good improvement.
Yes, there's been improvement, but earlier, you made a point that the focus has been on the middle and upper class or the formal sector, and mostly the informal sector has been neglected. I don't know if you want to expatiate on that, because and then I think most of them also they focus on just payments, receipts, and then making payments. Do you think that in the services or in the business processes of startups or in their businesses, there are a lot of services, access to loan, insurance, and all of it. Do you think that one, the informal sector is being neglected, and 2, most of them are still at the elementary stage, focusing on just payments?
You're absolutely right, Douglas. I think that to start with the second point, a lot of the fintechs we have now are payments. And that is mainly because it's easier to take commissions on payments. And if you're a startup, you are just beginning. If you are not going to get your commissions, your business will not really last that long. So that has been the problem. So most of the startups who are entering the space are looking at commissions. They are looking at how can they make fees on the services they are providing. And that is also the problem for the informal sector, because we are looking at getting money to survive as startups. We are not looking at providing a service that will be free, and then maybe we will grow it into a freemium and then later make money later. The most successful technology companies, not only talking about fintechs, but the most successful technology companies globally start with a free service. And that's how you are going to be able to reach the informal sector, because they are not used to these services. If you immediately get through to them and you want to charge a commission or charge a fee, you are likely not to get them to sign up to your product. So we have a huge issue on hand. The startup community should start thinking of maybe coming up with joint projects where we can think outside the box. One, think outside payments, as you have rightly identified. Even if it is payments, there are other things we can do in payments. For example, I always say that we are still doing direct pay. So what we are doing is direct pay, but there are other forms of payments. There can be credit payments. We have not considered how to take the banks have not considered how to take what they do with standing orders and direct debit and move it into the technological space. And I'm happy there is an executive from a bank. So they should consider that, because if they partner with fintechs may not have the muscle to go out there and do something that will not bring money immediately. So if they could partner with fintechs to roll out a standing order service, or maybe a direct debit service, but which is technology based. And we are all talking about how the Ghana card is going to make everybody give them more financial benefits. This is where to start from. Why don't you give them an opportunity to pay for, instead of doing direct pay, walking into a shop and paying for the good there and then? They walk into the shop and they pay with a direct debit service. This is something that is done outside. We can use fintech to go in there. And if you do that with the informal sector, where they can have an account with you, pay for things using direct debit, and then you collect the money over a period of time, you are drawing the informal sector into the financial space even more. So I completely agree with you. I think the informal sector is being neglected. The issues are that startups don't have the muscle to go in there because the informal sector cannot pay. And then also, we are not looking at the products that will be more than payments. And I agree with you that we need to start thinking outside the box.
Thank you. So now you've been with, I'm sure, as a team, you sit down to deliberate, look at it. So what are some of the immediate future, some of the services that you think that fintechs will be providing aside the usual payments and now I mean you have loans and all of that? What areas are you see that yes, the fintech companies will be focusing on?
Yes, okay. So I think that to me it comes down to the type of customers we keep getting in various countries. When we started back in 2019, we potentially were only Ghana, Nigeria, now we are in part of the by way of the code, we are crossing 27 countries. Just the code. If you extend the code, and I'll come to it, beyond that. If you extend the code, and I had quite a number of so a bunch of tech people. I don't know if happy or too excited because the number I gave them was that we currently cover over 220 countries. So I work with technology. I know my co-founders will bear with me that when it comes to finance, you don't just build the tech and start the process. You need licenses, you need to check out, you need to have a bank account and all. So it's tricky. Even if we say we're in 220 countries, we're not going to be able to praise all of them. So if you come now to why I say, what do we do? We currently are in, say, 4 major countries. Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda. All the other countries are now, and this is where I answer the question, are not necessarily doing transfers or transactions, but they're buying on the side. At time, they're paying for bills, they're trying to sort out mortgage issues, they're trying to pay for things related to bills, services, and all, because I think that's another part that's a big gap in this whole sort of technology space. There are so many of these fintechs, but when it comes to the businesses, let's talk about that. We've got businesses that showed up this morning. People want to go into fashion, people want to go into parts and all of that stuff. How seamless can we digitize all those processes? Such that even before you can finish and bring the product to market, its strings and the lines, pay for it, it's already there. Now, those are things we are very excited about to work on. We spent some time building a very interesting technology, that's what they say. So the advertisers are the one that we built so that they jump in. But what it basically will do is that you can basically put almost anything you want to pay for into the system. And we should need to solve that. When I say anything, it means that it should be something like a mechanical. If it means if we give it a unique number or whatever it is, we should be able to do that. So that if you're the owner of the said item, it's so easy to then receive money for the said item, product, service, initiative, or whatever it is you're doing, including but not limited to NGO related actions, non-governmental, non-profitable actions, and all of that stuff. So we really see a big opportunity in those areas because the direct idea of transfers is getting more saturated. Like I said, by the end of the year, which is approximately in about 57 days time, if we count again, we should have over 10,000 visitors and not 20,000 more. So we really want to definitely do those ones as well. But some of us are also sources of cost that says that we're definitely going to be doing that will not be enough. So you can just build that thing with myself with a team, but it's enough. You created a strange paper stuff. So now bigger issues, some of them are hard, for instance, that's right. And the idea is what are we doing about all the bureaucracy? There is balance between floats, balance between regulations, the unnecessary and necessary sometimes workers compliance with the queues that they sort of take us to. And they will ask you your steps certificate, your great grandmother certificate. They will ask you where you come from. In some cases, you even the blood test. So we need to build something that allows me to transact with friends seamlessly, such that even if the transaction record is lost, I'm not talking about blockchain at this point, but something that allows us to transact, so that when I say we're taking power from the banks, that was why I don't think will happen. Because they are too rich, they are too powerful, some are just so bloody. So they won't go anywhere, they will still be needed, right? We use computers, but practices are still very necessary. It's not going anywhere, and prices will still be necessary, right? So we will need them, but could we innovate around that and build something that allows you and me to transact? And it's actually an accepted legal tender between both of us. That's why some of us are mind is going to. Amidst decentralized network, decentralized computing systems, because let's face it, in some countries, the way the system is built, we are forced to implement a local database in those countries. If you don't have a local database, forget it. You don't care how much money you're bringing, you don't care how much transactions you're going to put the database there, right? it has its advantages and disadvantages. Right? And the question then becomes, for how long, and as I'm saying this, I'm just like telling myself, for how long can we keep playing this ball? And then we have an autocratic import leader who is up one day and says, switch it off. Because within the DNSs and the resolutions in the network, we take an instruction to geolocalize your finish. We saw what Nigeria did to Twitter. Yeah, it's going through the network, so it needs to cut Twitter off. Unless you have a VPN or something like that. So we're really thinking about some of these things, like how can we build this to empower women, children, disabled people, away and far from bureaucracy and people who think they should be involved forever. Like, what should we do? And when you look at some of the records we have with the IFT, some of us, that's where our focus was. We're looking for grants that are really in a bit more direct than just copycats. We get a more copycats like he said, most people are focused on commissions, they just want to make money. Get that. You have to pay a bill, people pay for the same cost and everything. But those that are going extra far to build startups that are somewhat unstoppable. Now that's what I am looking for. Beyond 2025 and into the future, I pray that people have the courage to do it.
Right. So being a business development manager, I'm sure you know some of the challenges of the startups or the entrepreneurs that you work with. Looking at the same question, looking into the future, what are some of the things that your service are going to evolve in? The banks have really over the short period done a lot in terms of digitalization of some of those processes. But what should we expect in the near future based on the needs that are identified?
Well, I understand you. We are looking at banks purely is a service organization. And breaking it down, we are here to serve. By service, we are here to make things easier for people. We are in to create convenience, like what someone said, our business is convenience. I like what Emmanuel said, however, I believe you can't be all too radical in society. Yes, because remember, you are not dealing with only a few people scattered the ecosystem. Things have to be regulated, otherwise it would be the fittest who survive. So the other ones who may not be as fit or may not be as connected, may not be as knowledgeable, may not be as tech savvy, will be left behind. And the economy as well that the government or the nation is running, we don't have, that's why we put people in authority positions, in place of authority, to make sure that while we like the idea of improving things, of bringing about good services, technology, which is to make things easier, increase convenience. The convenience, whether it has to do with cheaper rates, whether it has to do with quicker services, as the mobile money, and it's bring that out. It's all good, but I believe we must also, through it all, have a balance. That's why part of that is there to make sure that as a regulator, make sure that there's a balance between the efforts of the fintechs. I mean, the pure fintechs who are mainly into technology, using technology to provide financial solutions. The other efforts vis-a-vis that of the banks, the work of the banks in improving lives. We have to strike a balance. And then a lot can be done. A lot can be done with regards to the services that the fintechs realized in recent times that as the fintechs come along with the innovations, the bank tag along. Yes, sometimes we adopt what they are doing, sometimes we create whole new products, but quite similar. So we can work together and they bring up the innovations, we innovate along with them and create this.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, so from the startup point, what are some of the services you would like fintechs to focus on aside usual payments and all of that for convenience.
Thank you, Douglas. I've already mentioned that I think we should move from direct pay to credit pay. It will really help open up the space for the informal sector, because these services are available to the middle class. The banks offer direct debit services to the middle class, but the informal sector don't have that benefit. And we can change that with technology. You can easily see how MTN has been able to do the quick loan. With technology, they have been able to overcome a hurdle which banks believe is impossible, which is providing credits to the informal sector. So if banks really want to make a difference in the fintech space, in partnership with young startups, I think one of the places they can look at is credit pay, and that will make a huge difference. So that is one of the things that I can say. If I could think of another thing that fintechs need to do, fintechs need to also look at data. I realize that our focus has been on, as I said, commissions, but we are not looking at how to actually, again, we don't have the capacity to do a free product, which will bring in millions of people, and then we get data and then use it for something beneficial. But some of us should take the risk, or we should get banks who are willing to take the risk with us, so that we go out there, do a product that the masses will use, and it's a free product, get data, and use that data to provide them with better financial services. So I will talk about those two as going forward, something that we should be looking at.
Yes, but I know these things come with challenges, especially you being on that side. What are some of the challenges? I know with the issue of security. I met an MP and he told me that you never download the app. I mean, an MP, and it's not like yesterday I was with him. So, what are some of the challenges with the adoption of some of these fintech solutions?
Yeah, so nice one there. I think that's where I was very crazy why we're saying the business back. There's a need for this like machine compliance. It only starts to become a problem when some group of people decide that they would have, let's say, without a cause for redress or a cause for the dialogue wrong to the asset policy. Right? I will link that straight to the DPR policy ISO 27001 from 2020 to 7001. And what you come to realize is that quite a number of so-called 20,000 fintechs, not all of them are ISO certified. And that's a problem. That's a problem because if they don't have that, then it's dangerous for friends and it's bad to allow them to interface their servers because they don't have the right policies around their business. If for instance, Steve questioned them, who has access to your database, what's the layer of security? They just know that all their security is partial. What's the written down policy around that? Because in the end, that goes a long way to affect the functioning of the customer you just mentioned. He feels it's not safe, it's not okay. For even someone like me, who is highly techy, I canceled major part of the education services by this right? And rather resorted to just checking things myself. Because then for some of the banks, you will not even get the right messaging, the medium they are sending you through. They didn't even ask for consent for sending you that, right? So there are quite a number of things that by the time you go through the GDPR policy and then the ISO certification thing, you realize, oh wait, the customers have the right to order. Because even at the ISO stage, by the time you pass everything, it's a whole list of things we've gone through it, we are fully ISO certified now, but it's not easy. To really pass all of those certifications, do you have this check? Do you have that check? And then they will see evidence. So it's a pure evidence-based check. You don't just say, well, you just write things up. You first have a policy, but where is the execution of the policy? What does it really say? When you click, does it follow the policy you've written down? And when customers log in, does it follow the policy you've written down? When internal or in-house people log into the system, are they also following the policy? Is the technology built to be conformant to the policy? So clearly, we need the regulation, we need the compliance and all. If not, then the customers will not be comfortable. We will have all the data, but eventually somebody is going to get sued. I don't think we'll be the customer. We'll be the fintechs. But they're going to lose money because then you can have a class action suit from customers who have clear evidence that agree. Even as simple as you are using their phone numbers to send them SMSs without their notice. And if you get a right good quote and due, you don't have to get in trouble. You're going to pay for it. So if we put these things there, well, and of course in Ghana, we have the act, I think it's 97, and 910. If the fintechs, whether it's locally or internationally, will abide by the rules and regulations, I think that's what we have. We help and batteries and startups to say that we can then step away from the regulation and start using the data. But using the data, you have to comply because if not, that's somebody's life. Every information, everything they are paying for, their information they share with you, their conference and all, as against internal in-house people, how are you putting those elements there within the technology to prevent someone from really being turned out for? Because how do you stop someone from adding a fruit to someone's wallet internally? Or taking money out of the wallet and then sending a message to them saying, COT charges. How do you do all of that? So that's when what he mentioned, the regulation and the compliance would really have to come in to ensure that there's a fair play. If not, like he said, we should use data. Somebody will wake up tomorrow, and I know data markets. People will go and sell this data and read themselves and just shut up this data. That's a problem to the users. So then we need more of that before we can reassure that customer information to then say, oh, okay, because then I have all the checkboxes. When I take no, it means actual no to the system, the technology, and to everybody in the company. Across everywhere, and it's not just me taking no and they still do what they want. So yeah, they have to comply.
Difference adoption and implementation. I mean, the mindset and all of that. I'm sure you do with a lot of you make recommendations for some of these platforms. What are some of the challenges you encounter, the questions they ask you, and all of that, and those are insecurities and all of that?
Just as the man mentioned, it's quite common, but as we go on, you realize that the benefit of education is playing a good role here. But as you deal with more of youngsters, for lack of a better expression, you realize they are more easygoing with the technologies. They will more want us to put them on our internet banking platform. They will more want to have them profile on, say, GT1, GT Bank app, or we profile them like GT app. They get the convenience, and as well, they also have more control over the security. But the older population, most times you find them quite insecure, especially with regards to their passwords. In the event of fraud, in the event of hackers hacking into their emails, they have tons of them. You realize even their phone passwords, their children keep them for them. And their emails, their children have access to it to be giving them updates and so on and so forth. So it's a big challenge. If you push the fintech agenda too much on especially the older population, many of them will lose money big time. And I've seen in my personal experience in banking, I've seen different customers who, through some of these small breaches, they not really having the upper hand over the tech stack. And indeed, some lost so much, several tens of thousands of Ghana cedis, and then the bank had to now cooperate with them and the security agencies to fish out a particular corpus of that. So there is
All right, thank you. The last one. So, Mr. So where do you see the fintech, like industry, or
Douglas, please come again. Where do I see the fintech industry?
Yes.
Where do I see the fintech?
Future, how does the future?
Oh, okay, the future of the industry. Well, in Africa, we always say the future is bright. We are hoping that we'll continue to grow. I'm worried, though, that the focus of it looks like the focus of
industry in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Douglas, please, can you hear me? Douglas, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I was saying that.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. So I was saying that I'm a bit worried. And am I still on? Douglas, am I back on? Hello. 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 Hello.
We can hear you, sir. We can.
Okay, so I should go on.
Go on.
Okay, so I'm just saying that I'm a bit worried because it looks like the focus of investments into Ghana and into Africa, into startups, is purely into the payment systems. And what then happens is that, as you said, even in your intro, the problem then is where the money is where we will all focus on. Because if payments is what investors, venture capitalists want to put their money in, then we'll all do payments. So there is that problem where we need to start getting diversified capital into the other areas of fintech, which we have all agreed on this platform is a bit more interesting and can make more impact. The future shouldn't be just payments. Payments is good. I think we've captured that market. I think it will grow even further. The Z-Pays, the Haptels and so on, they'll keep growing. But what will then happen is, will the other aspects of fintech, especially the ones that will help the informal sector, will it go down? Will it never see the light of day because there's no money backing it? So that is what we need to start looking at. And apart from venture capitalists and international investors, are the banks going to support fintech that goes into other areas apart from payments? I think that will be a real game changer. If some of the banks say, look, get this money, or you don't give me money, give me support and tell me to go into this area, like some of the areas I've mentioned, including credit pay, and then also into the data aspect of it. Give me the support, let me build those aspects. And then I think that fintech will seriously flourish and it will reach the unreached population, which
Hello, sorry. All right. Same question to you, Iman. So where do you see the future of fintech, especially in Ghana?
Yeah, so in Ghana, first of all, race relationship, easy.
Yeah.
Education then is a big area by itself. So I'm really expecting also quite a number of startups who will do the Fintech sort of thing, right? Because we need that. It took me a very long time to convince some people in and around my family to, embrace Fintech products. Like the common brands, see, it's right, and you use an app on your phone. And it's a result of what the government managed. If you, no, I don't understand. It's all human thing. So you just reject things and don't understand. It's just that simple. It's what it is. It's not going to change today, so it'll change tomorrow. So if we can find ways around, let people know what it is and what's going on, right? That would be a big help. As simple and easy and evidentable in the future as if the fintechs cannot share the clear transparency of what's going on in there. This is all this. Like, can you show me what's going on? And now I'm able to see the code. They just say, tell me stage by stage. Where's my money? Where's it going to? What's the next step? I can see I'm waiting. What am I waiting for? Because if we don't be step of the game, cross this UI barrier and explain clearly what's happening, what they are getting, and all, we're still going to have problems. They know the basic solutions of payments. Not to talk of the other ones that I am probably being crazy waiting for, and I'm being told I need to stand up because there will be revelation. We'll not even get that. We don't really get about educating the people that's going to use these systems. And I think that's where our almighty banks do come. Because customers really do listen to them. When people hear that you're Fintech, and then they see that there's some sort of banking partnership, or there's some bank out there that's saying, oh, we have this product, or we use this too. They're like, oh, okay, it means they can't run away. Because it's more. If anything, I can go to the bank, it will sort me out. So we're going to really need that education there. Massively. Massively. Now Ghana, we're doing, you mentioned Ghana, so let's stay in Ghana. If I start to look up, oh my goodness, the conversation will be all colorful and way and everything. And in Ghana alone, we have about over 30 million people. The 30 million people, if you're building the tech, don't ever dream you really probably get a 15 million man. Forget it, it won't happen. If it happens, praise the Lord. We'll thank God, we'll go and give thanks and bless the name of God. It won't happen. Let's come down to 1/6, which is around 5 million. That 5 million, if you are lucky, peg yourself around about, give or take, depending on what you're doing. If you really grow and massively have the numbers, just maybe you can get 50,000 to the 500,000 back approach. It's okay, yeah. Maybe. Because it's that 5 million people who have almost formed and they are adapted, and they are the same people that are still watching the TV and listening to the radio. The rest of the 25 rather, they are hungry. They don't have time to listen to your ads and your education and all this stuff. So how are we going to reach that 25 million people? If somebody can come up with a way that we can, and at this point, for some reason, but if we can actually bring the information to their brains, that will happen. I know. So it means we have a lot to do. How do we educate the people in a very cost-effective way through billboards, through radio? And remember, for every one of these so-called customer relationship things I'm mentioning, it's not free. You have to pay. If not, they won't give you the platform. Radio, TV, billboards, your Facebook, Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, you will have to pay before you can reach the masses. So how do we get to the point where we've educated the so-called 20 million, 25 million people to confidence in the product? The way of the confidence you sit on a check. How many people question a check before they sit up? When you see a check, you barely will ask yourself, let me check the legs. Is it 4 legs or 1? Is it 3 legs? We don't check. I can check my way to check yours. We just sit because we have trust in the check. When you see the object, you can tell it's a check. If it wasn't good, we won't put it here. So how do we get there? Now, those technologies, honestly, I would be very interested to see.
My take on the future of fintech, I feel will really go far if the regulators which by regulators I mean Bank of Ghana, the regulators and the banks, the commercial banks especially, not limited to the commercial banks, the rural banks, all in partnership. I think we very good in practical steps if the regulators will set up fintech units, which have different divisions, some into the regulation of fintech bodies, others also to partner with those, let me put it this way, other units of that same fintech division of the regulator will be in partnership with innovators. It's like that, because I feel that as a nation, there is a lot that can be explored in the fintech space to even boost our economy. Yes, and I feel that the earlier we act, the better. And we can look at it from the business perspective. As a regulator, not only in regulating that space, but as well in partnership with the fintechs, with the providers of that technology. Have a desk that collaborates with innovators to improve their services, improve their process flow. Then they also have a desk to regulate them. Well-funded units. Then as well with that, they can have a drop-down effect on the banks. If we do that, then I believe there can be a mutual benefit there, where banks will really have the works of fintechs promoting our work, promoting our brands, promoting even our money flow, and also the fintechs also making their money, and at the end of it, creating convenience for our customers.
Yeah, creating convenience. So those like these innovators are not sometimes even a step ahead, and they are more reactive than proactive. Because I remember MTN after they introduced the mobile money, that was when they came out and they should start the phrase MTN mobile money company and everything. And the MTN as well telecommunication, and that was after. So yes, I think that in an ecosystem like that, these regulators and others need to also do their bits to ensure that they create that convenience for these regulators. It's an established fact that fintech has come in and has come to stay. We will grow over time. Yes, we will go beyond the basic services of payments and the MTN started, and sometimes even with transactions, you won't even see the name. And after it's sent, that is where you see that okay, it was sent to the wrong number. And all of that. But they are doing better, it has been proved, same with all these platforms that are coming. But I think that as you mentioned, the players in the ecosystem should play their roles to ensure that that environment is created for us to be able to serve, especially the informal sector, which forms a chunk of the sectors that operates. I mean, they contribute like, the other time I checked, close to like 80% of our GDP. And therefore they need that support to be able to employment and all of that. But they need to be able to access services beyond the basic payments and others to ensure that they are as efficient as possible. Thank you very much. The insight that you shared with us, and thank audience to us. And thank you, Mr. Abe, thank you, Ima, thank you for your